Hey there, innovation champions. Melissa Dinwiddie here. Nobody hands you an innovation mandate with a start date that makes sense. It lands mid-quarter in a meeting that was supposed to be about something else. Usually as a single sentence. We need your team to be more innovative. And then everybody moves on to the next agenda item, and you are left holding that mandate. No budget line, no template, no week one plan. And there's a predictable mistake that happens here, and it's not really anyone's fault. Typically, the instinct is to go straight to strategy. You block out time to research frameworks, you draft a rollout plan, maybe you sketch an all-hands presentation with a bold new value statement that has innovation in it. And by the time month one ends, your team has heard the word innovation a lot and experienced exactly none of it. Now, I'm a performer, so I'm going to use performance analogies. Think of this like staging a performance. You would not start rehearsals by blocking out the final act. You start with the fundamentals. You run them really badly, and then you build up. What happens if you skip that? You know what happens? If you're really lucky, the opening night might look impressive for about 2 minutes before it completely falls apart. Now, just like a performance doesn't need, all the blocking and all the sets done on the first day, the mandate doesn't need a strategy document in month one. It needs a first rep. That's what it needs. So let's talk about what actually works in the first 30 days. My book, Innovation at Work, actually already answers this, if you know where to look. Tucked in the back, there is an implementation strategy that maps a 12-week arc. And the first 4 weeks, foundation building, are designed to happen before anything else. So here is one suggested protocol. Week 1, start with permission. I often talk about what I do as permission engineering, because that is the foundation. So I suggest that you run experiment number 13. It's called the permission slip protocol. It's super simple. Every person on your team writes themselves a permission slip for one specific behavior that they have been really hesitant to try. Now, this could be sharing a half-formed idea, or questioning an assumption, or speaking up in a meeting. What's really, really important here, though, is that as the leader, you go first. This is 8 minutes, that's all it takes, and one piece of paper. I find it really fun to actually print out slips of paper that say permission slip on them, because, I love that kind of thing. But it doesn't matter. It could be a Post-it note, it could be a piece of paper. It's just a permission slip. Okay, so that's week 1. Week 2 is when you run your first so-called real experiment. And this is experiment number 1 in the book. It's called the Crappy First Draft Showcase. 10 minutes. It's just 10 minutes to create something deliberately terrible. This is a lot harder than it sounds. There is a method to this madness. Intentionally create something deliberately terrible, and then show and tell, celebrating the terribleness. You can read more in the book about why this works, and it really does work. It's kind of fascinating. This is the week that your team experiences rather than just hears about what safe to be bad actually feels like, because that's what that deliberately terrible is all about. It's creating that safe container for people to actually make crap, which is step number 2 of my Create the Impossible framework. Okay, now weeks 3 to 4, make the attempt itself the win. Oh my gosh, this is so important. This is experiment number 50. Celebrate the attempt. Each person shares one intelligent risk that they took recently, regardless of the outcome. This is not about sharing a win. It's about sharing an attempt. And the team celebrates the attempt, celebrating literally the attempt, not the result. When you repeat this over 2 weeks, this is what turns one good experience into an actual foundation. That is foundation building. Weeks 5 to 8 after this shift into integrating experiments directly into your existing meetings. Weeks 9 to 12 use systematic practice to make the habit outlast the initial enthusiasm. And the full 12-week roadmap is mapped out in the appendix in the book. This newsletter, this video is just phase 1. So let's talk about why starting small works better than starting big. The ambitious version of month 1 is really tempting, but it tends to backfire. You could spend a month planning and rolling out a really big initiative, but what happens is that burns credibility before your team has even run a single experiment together. Innovation at Work, the book, is built around the opposite bet. One person who reviewed it on Amazon described it as delivering 52 concrete, low-lift micro-experiments leaders can run immediately, which is exactly the point. Month 1 doesn't need a program. It needs one small, repeatable move that your team can actually feel. If you're in week 0 of this right now, you got a mandate in hand, but you don't have a map yet, the book already has your next 12 weeks laid out, starting with experiment number 13, permission slip protocol, this week. You do not need to build the plan. You just need to run the plan. So if this landed for you, here's the one thing to do this week. Run that experiment number 13, permission slip protocol. Run it with your team. 8 minutes, 1 piece of paper. And remember, you go first. And if you want the full 52 experiment toolkit for weeks 1 through 52, if you want to run 1 experiment a week for 52 weeks, grab a copy of Innovation at Work. You can scan that QR code. Link is also below. It's just innovationatworkbook.com. And you can also get a special leadership edition. It's available only on my website, which includes an exclusive 5-part Innovation Leaders Edge video series. Everything you need to run your first micro experiment, get leadership buy-in, and build lasting innovation culture. And if you want to talk through what your specific first 30 days should look like, book a free innovation strategy session at innovationatworkbook.com/call. Use a QR code. Link is also in the description. No pitch, just a real conversation about where you're starting from. And if this was useful, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll be back soon with more tools for leaders building innovation as a practice, not an event. Till next time, stay curious, stay playful, and keep creating the impossible. Ciao.